Will the dumpster fire division still be a dumpster fire this season? Probably. Grossi Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. NFC East, more like NFC East infection. I don't know. Grossi. And today we are going to be predicting the outcome of the NFC East for the 2022-2023 NFL season, as I did yesterday with the NFC North. Basically, how this works is I go through each team, talk about what they did during the offseason, take a look at some of their toughest games, then predict their floor, their ceiling, and then rank them at the very end on how I think the division is going to play out. Good? Got it? Great. Let's get to it. Starting off with the Washington Commanders. What'd they do during the offseason? Well, they didn't get a new owner, though rumors of the other owners voting him out just gives Washington fans just enough hope to be let down. Had a decent draft, trying to add some weapons here. The Washington Commanders are a bit of an odd team. They trade for Carson Wentz, who's obviously a stopgap. They got Taylor Heineke. You know, he does a decent job. The Commanders just seem like they're a team in limbo. 2 years ago, their defense was one of the most dominating defenses in all of the NFL. Last year, left a bit to be desired. However, Chase Young returning from injuries should be a bit better. Maybe they're going to be able to return to form, but I don't think the Commanders are going to be a very good football team this season. Taking a look at some of their tough games, I think that they might even struggle with a team like the Lions. They got the Eagles twice. They got the Cowboys twice. They got the Titans, the Packers, the Colts, the Vikings, the 49ers, and the Browns, and that's not even mentioning the Giants. Though, who knows, those teams are probably just going to cancel each other out. So basically what I'm trying to say is that they got a lot of tough games here, and I don't know how improved their offense and defense are going to be. So taking a look at this, I see their floor being as low as 6-11. They could potentially pull off some games against like the Lions. They probably could sweep the Giants, and then maybe they're going to be able to take down a team like the Titans, depending on how they're going to do this season. But looking at their ceiling, I don't think it's very high this year. I see them potentially having a winning record at 9-8, but yeah, I don't think the Commanders are going to be commanding anything other than a potential tank.
Do I need to learn how to speak Russian?
Then you got the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles not only having a great draft, getting Jordan Davis, but of course, also getting one of the best wide receivers in the NFL in A.J. Brown. The question marks, of course, are going to come with Jalen Hurts. Is he going to be the guy? They had a very lackluster exit from the playoffs last year going up against the Buccaneers. They were just completely dominated that entire game. Jalen Hurts didn't look too good. However, I will say Jalen Hurts having another offseason to try and improve, also getting some weapons so they don't have to even look at Jalen Reagor anymore, could be beneficial. The fact that they have Smith and Brown now, and they should start running the football from the beginning of the season and not get bullied by their fans to run it only halfway through the season, could help a lot. It also helps they're in a weak division. Taking a look at some of their tough games, you got the Vikings, the Cardinals, the Cowboys twice, the Colts, the Packers, the Titans, and potentially the Saints. So looking at their floor, I think their minimum is around 9-8. I think Jalen Hurts will do enough for them to be competitive. He could use his legs, and hopefully he gets a little bit more accurate. But looking at their ceiling, I mean, this is very generous, but I think they could go 13-4. Their toughest games are going to be within the division against the Cowboys, and I think the Colts and Packers, I think that those are really their tough games here. And the fact that they're playing a team like the Packers at home on Sunday night, if Jalen Hurts is their guy, they should be able to potentially win that game. So the Eagles, I think, are going to do well this season, but I think it's going to come down to living and dying by Jalen Hurts. Then you got one of the teams who had the best draft, and that, or at least the best first round, and that is the New Jersey Giants. The Giants, lot of huge question marks here. Not only, of course, do they let Bradbury go because they can't afford him anymore, and then he signs with the Eagles, but Saquon Barkley, Can he stay healthy? Is he still that guy? Daniel Jones, is he your future quarterback? Probably not. But they got a new regime, getting in Brian Dable, which I think is definitely the right move. And hell, he developed Josh Allen. Maybe he could work wonders with Daniel Jones, who is at least at the minimum athletic. Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney caught a total of 0 touchdowns last year. There should be an improvement there, even though the bar is very, very low. So the Giants this season are really a team of what ifs. Taking a look at some of their tough games, they got the Titans, the Cowboys twice, the Eagles twice, the Packers, the Ravens, potentially the Lions, the Vikings, and the Colts. So their schedule isn't the most difficult. They're going to just find a lot of challenges within their division because they have 4 potential losses right there. Looking at their floor, I don't think that they're going to only win 3 games. I see it at 7-10, just because I think there is enough talent on that team. And looking at their ceiling, if everything goes well for them, I think they could finish an 11-6 football team. I think that they definitely do have some tough games, but if they're going to start firing on all cylinders and kind of unlocking the key of Daniel Jones, or at least allowing him to cater to his strengths, who knows? Maybe they could be a decent football team. And finally, you got America's, just kidding, it's not America's team. You got the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys do not have the easiest schedule here. The Cowboys lost Amari Cooper for peanuts, lost Randy Gregory. Of course, Micah Parsons emerging last year was a definite help. Ezekiel Elliott, well, they definitely overpaid him. Is he going to be able to return to form? The Cowboys might not be in for the greatest season here. I know a lot of people were pegging them to win the division pretty easily, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Taking a look at some of their tough games, listen to this. The Buccaneers, the Bengals, the Rams, they got the Eagles twice, the Packers, and then they got the Vikings, Colts, and Titans. So I think that they have the potential to really struggle this season, and that has nothing to do with their team. It just has to do with the quality of opponents that they're going to be facing. So quite honestly, with no bias, their floor could be as low as 8-9. I don't think it's going to be that low. And I think their ceiling could be 12-5. They're playing a lot of playoff contending teams like the Bucs, the Bengals, the Rams, the Packers, and at least even if they split with the Eagles, that's 5 games right there. And that's if they're able to beat the Vikings, Colts, and Titans. I think they should be able to do that just because they do have enough talent on the team. But don't be terribly surprised if the Cowboys wind up not panning out this season.
But I wanted the job.
So with that being said, in ranking these guys, at number 1, I have the Eagles winning the division just because I think they have a bit of an easier schedule and they definitely improved in the offseason, followed by the Cowboys. Then you got the Giants, and then you have the Commanders. I think the Commanders, just in terms of the ceiling and potential, I think they have the lowest amongst the division just because of what their team is right now and their schedule. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or TomGrossiComedy, all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.